Hello, friends, and welcome to Sleep Tight Stories. Every week, we celebrate our supporters through shoutouts and personal birthday messages. We think this is also a fun way for us to hear about all the amazing places that you, our listeners, come from. Hello to Layla Indra. And hello to Dawn, Miriam, and John from New York City. Good luck in first grade, elephants and kangaroos. Mommy, Daddy, and Clarissa are so proud of you and can't wait to see how much you'll learn at school this year. Happy belated birthday to Daniel, who turned 8 on August 27th. And hello to Demay, his sister, who are enjoying their new home in Leesburg, Virginia. Happy belated 6th birthday to Cullen. Love, Mommy. Listening to bedtime stories with you is my favorite part of the day. Love you so much. Happy belated 10th birthday to Matilda from Hart in Sydney, Australia. And a big hello to her brother James. Mom and Dad love you both very much. Happiest of birthdays to Lydia from Birmingham, Alabama, who is turning 9 on September 2nd. Your mommy, daddy, sister Isla, and pup Sophie love you to the moon and back and are so proud of the curious, spunky, and kind human you are. Happy 6th birthday to Sophie on September 3rd. Mommy loves you and is so very proud of you. Happy birthday to Tallulah Moon in Venice on September 4th. Mommy and Daddy are so proud of you. Happy 7th birthday to Rafa in Woodstock, New York on September 5th. Ima, Abba, Eli, and Eva love you so much. Happy birthday to Quinn, who is turning 7 on September 5th. Love Mom and Dad. You are our sweet baby girl. Happy birthday to Jackson, who is turning 9 on September 6th. Mom, Dad, and your 4 older brothers love you very much and are so proud of how brave, kind, and curious you are. And happy 8th birthday to Harrison Rentz from Greenville, South Carolina on September 6th. Baba, Mommy, and Sawyer love you so much. Happy birthday to you all. To reserve your special shout-out, please visit sleeptightstories.org/support. We can't wait to celebrate with you. Now, on to our story. The gang is meeting in the library when Mr. McCaskill shows up. They thought he had suspended the group and were surprised to see him. They catch him up on their latest mystery, and he tells them that they can turn it into English homework. Red thinks that sounds awful. More homework. Mr. McCaskill gives the group another mystery to solve, and they start to make a plan before they head home. The Transfer Student, Part 21. Charlie, Alexa, and Rachel sat in their chairs, surprised by the sudden appearance of Mr. McCaskill, who had suspended their group weeks ago. Red, on the other hand, was confused. What in the world is a toilet paper waterfall, she wondered, struggling to piece together what it had to do with plumbing problems. So much of Earth's culture and language still puzzled her. Better not mention this at home, she thought, or Blue might start getting ideas. He already makes enough messes in the bathroom. Rachel, her nose back in her book, glanced up and commented dryly, "Not the best attempt at a science experiment. Maybe they were trying to turn the bathroom into a swimming pool. I'm just glad you didn't get swept away, Mr. McCaskill." Mr. McCaskill chuckled. Oh, believe me, Rachel, I was worried for a moment. But after years of dealing with, shall we say, creative problems, I made it out in one piece. Let's hope the rest of the day doesn't involve more plumbing adventures. Charlie, recovering from the surprise of seeing Mr. McCaskill, sniffed and said, Kurt isn't here today. I can call her tonight and fill her in on whatever we discuss. Alexa hesitated before speaking. Mr. McCaskill, we weren't sure you were still leading our group, so we've been solving mysteries on our own. Putting her book down, Rachel added, Yeah, we were told you suspended the group. Mr. McCaskill nodded, his expression softening. I know, and I'm sorry for that. My schedule got a bit crazy, but when I heard how dedicated you all were, I knew I had to come back and see what you've been up to. I love that you took the initiative. Going forward, I hope you'll continue the group yourselves, and I can drop by whenever I can. Now, who wants to catch me up on what I've missed? And please, tell me no one's trying to create a waterfall out of clues. Charlie grinned. No waterfalls, but Alexa found a box in her backyard, which led us to a scientist named Dr. Hart, who lived here a long time ago, and she knew about an alien invasion. Rachel adjusted her glasses. We found documents hidden in another chest at the observatory. She claimed to have proof of Martians on Earth. Red, frowning, added, But, while interesting, the stuff we found offers no proof of such claims. Alexa shrugged. It's definitely an interesting story, even if we haven't found solid proof yet. But following the clues and seeing where they lead is fun. Mr. McCaskill's eyes widened with interest. Aliens? Buried documents? Now that sounds like something worth flushing out. No pun intended. He winked, and the group couldn't help but laugh. Then, with a thoughtful look, he added, Since you all take English class with me, why not turn what you've learned about Dr. Hart into a group writing project? The gang groaned in unison. Mr. McCaskill chuckled. Don't worry, this isn't just any homework. It's an adventure in disguise. You have done a lot of the work already, and this is a chance to write down what you have learned and perhaps add a bit more. And I will give you credit for it. Red sighed internally. More English homework, she thought. Why, oh why must it be? She thought quietly to herself. Noticing the looks on their faces, Mr. McCaskill cleared his throat, getting everyone's attention. All right, I have a mystery that's a bit different than what I originally thought I might have you solve. It's not about missing nuggets or stinky gym socks, but it's something that's baffling the entire school, especially the younger students. Have you noticed that pieces of playground equipment have been disappearing? They all exchanged puzzled looks. Red tilted her head. Playground equipment? Red thought, her brow furrowing in confusion. What even is that? She tried to picture it, but nothing came to mind. Back on Mars, we didn't have playgrounds, at least not like they do here. We had environments for exercise and games, but nothing called a playground. Is it like those big colorful structures I see outside during recess? She vaguely recalled seeing kids climbing and swinging on strange metal bars and slides, but she'd never paid much attention. Why would anybody want to do that? And what's the point of a merry-go-round anyway? It just goes in circles. How is that fun? She shook her head slightly, deciding it was best to keep her questions to herself. Playground equipment? Like the swings and stuff? Charlie asked. Exactly, Mr. McCaskill nodded. First, it was one of the swings. Then a slide. Yesterday, the merry-go-round was nowhere to be found. The strange part is, there's no sign of them being broken or moved. They've just vanished overnight. The younger kids are pretty upset, and we need to figure out what's going on before recess turns into an all-out search party. Alexa leaned forward, intrigued. So, how do you propose we get started? A stakeout? Something like that, Mr. McCaskill said with a grin. I suggest you check the playground, interview the students who last saw the equipment, and maybe even stake out the area after school to catch the culprit in the act. It could be a prank, a case of mistaken identity, or maybe there's a secret to the playground we haven't discovered yet. Charlie's eyes lit up. Missing playground equipment? That's so weird. Maybe someone's moving it at night or hiding it somewhere. Maybe it's Martians. Rachel adjusted her glasses thoughtfully. Or it could be something more mundane, like the groundskeeper moving things for repairs. But we won't know until we investigate. Alexa nodded. I guess it's time to find out what's going on out there. Exactly, Mr. McCaskill said. You have been doing a bang-up job already. But I suggest you take notes, gather clues, and see if you can solve the case of the vanishing playground equipment. After handing out some notebooks and giving a few more pointers, Mr. McCaskill glanced at his watch and stood up suddenly. All right, I have to dash off. I've got an urgent meeting. In the janitor's closet, he said with a grin, as if that were the most normal thing in the world. The kids blinked, momentarily thrown by his words. The janitor's closet? Charlie echoed, raising an eyebrow. Yes, the janitor's closet, Mr. McCaskill replied, his eyes twinkling with mischief. You'd be surprised what needs straightening up in there. Let's just say Mr. Clean and I have some unfinished business. Rachel squinted, clearly suspicious. You're going to clean? Mr. McCaskill chuckled. Oh, if only it were that simple. But don't worry, it's nothing too messy. I'll check your progress on the mystery later in the week. He waved and walked out of the library, heading down the hall. But instead of turning towards the teacher's lounge or the office, he made a beeline for the janitor's closet near the gym. Red watched him go. What kind of English teacher has urgent business in a janitor's closet, she wondered. And why did he seem so strange about it? She shook off the thought, but a small part of her couldn't help but wonder if there was more to Mr. McCaskill than met the eye. He had the strangest sense of humor, which Red really liked, but sometimes his behavior seemed out of place with the rest of the teachers. Maybe he is just eccentric, or maybe there's something else going on. Well, this is a bit of a surprise, Alexa said, tilting her head. What about our Dr. Hart mystery? Red, can you bring the box tomorrow? I'd like to have another look at it. Sure, Red replied, mentally calculating her bag's capacity. If I leave my chemistry book in my locker, it should be easier to carry. Charlie's eyes widened in astonishment. You actually carry that big book home? No one hauls around books like that. Rachel cleared her throat pointedly. Excuse me. I'll have you know there are several of us who carry big books around," she said, hugging her own heavy tome closer. Charlie's cheeks flushed with embarrassment. "Oh, right, I forgot about that. Sorry, Rachel," he mumbled. Then, turning back to Red, he added, "Red, if you can manage to get that box on the bus, I could help you carry it to the classroom." Red took a small step back, noticing the telltale twitch of Charlie's nose. He was about to sneeze. "I appreciate the offer, Charlie. I'll bring it tomorrow," she said, hoping to avoid any unexpected germs. Rachel, packing up her things, looked thoughtful. "Why don't we set aside the Dr. Hart mystery for now and focus on the one Mr. McCaskill gave us? I think Kurt might prefer this one anyway. It seems like understanding Dr. Hart's work would require more time in the library than digging around in a backyard." Alexa sighed, a note of disappointment in her voice. "Okay, I guess that makes sense. I should get going, though, or my mom will start worrying I've been abducted by aliens. Again," she added with a roll of her eyes. "Yeah, it's almost time I get home," Charlie said as he pulled out a small thermos from his bag, grimacing as he unscrewed the lid. "What's that?" Red asked, noticing the unusual greenish tint of the liquid inside. "Yuck," she said to herself. "It's green." Charlie sighed, holding the thermos at arm's length as if it might explode. "It's Mom's latest miracle cure. She calls it cabbage cucumber cure. It's supposed to boost my immune system or something." Rachel wrinkled her nose. "That sounds disgusting?" Charlie finished for her, nodding. "Yep, it tastes exactly like it sounds. But Mom swears by it. She says it's packed with vitamins, and nothing cures a cold like a good dose of green goodness," he added, imitating his mother's chipper tone. Alexa couldn't help but laugh. "Cabbage cucumber? That sounds like something you'd feed a plant, not a person." "Tell me about it," Charlie muttered, before taking a reluctant sip. He shuddered, his face contorting as the bitter taste hit him. "Ugh, it's like drinking a salad without the dressing." Red took the public bus home, which, though it took a bit longer, she actually preferred. The stainless steel interior, with its cool metallic sheen, vaguely reminded her of parts of Mars. At least it doesn't have those bright colors everywhere or that yucky yellow exterior, she thought, feeling a small sense of comfort. On Mars, she could walk to wherever she needed to go. Occasionally, her class would venture to remote areas of the settlement to learn about energy processes or explore the deep interior. But generally, everything she needed was close by. Here, though, everything felt so spread out, so disconnected. Why does everything on Earth have to be so far apart? She wondered, still baffled by the sheer size of it all. When she finally arrived home, she slipped off her shoes, an old habit from Mars, and quietly headed straight to her room. She wanted to avoid the possibility of running into Blue. Not in the mood for his antics right now, she thought, shutting the door behind her with a soft click. The familiar surroundings of her room offered a brief respite from the chaos of Earth, and she breathed a small sigh of relief. Red plopped on her bed and stared off into space. Her gaze drifted to the small collection of items from Mars she kept on her desk. A rock from one of the outdoor expeditions, a photo of her class in front of the settlement's dome, and a piece of Martian soil sealed in a glass vial. No one was supposed to bring anything of their life on Mars with them, but she hid these objects in the lining of her bag before they left. Her mother found them, but because nothing was identifiable as Martian, she let Red keep them. On Mars, life had been simple, predictable, and small in a good way. Here, everything was loud, bright, and vast. She missed the quiet, the familiarity of her old home where nothing was ever too far away. Then she heard a banging on her door. Ugh, she groaned. It was blue. And that is the end of this part. Good night. Sleep tight.